And mobile, I got my mobile in 2002, much before everybody got. Many people got rather. So I used to take the mobile and keep it in front of me when I drink a cup of coffee, and others used to look at the mobile as it's some strange device that you have put there. 1 rupee for incoming and 2 rupee was outgoing. Today almost you can get anything on the phone. And the result of all this is, finally, more pollution, more anger, more dissatisfaction. The last one, energy consumption. Installed generating capacity in 1971 was 16,271 megawatts. Today it is more than 200 terawatts. So this is a trend in electricity consumption, generation in India, sorry, not consumption. And the result is more pollution. A lot of examples of pollution that we have, different kinds. More anger. You can see this is a street fight, another street fight, and all these police action that has become a part and parcel of daily Indian life. More dissatisfaction. This is something that is very dangerous. This is last 2 decades. The number of suicides have gone up from 7.9 to more than 10. It was, I didn't get the data, but I asked my friend, he told me it was less than 3, 40 years back. So there's a lot of dissatisfaction among the youth. And largest number of people who commit suicide are below the age of 50. Between 30 and 50, and then come the youth, younger people than that. Now, the question to be asked is, all this has happened, but has the standard of living improved? Yes, maybe, and no. If the end result is something that is negative, and if the negative outweighs the positive. Today the negative may not have outweighed the positive, but it's only a matter of time before that happens. There's no point in debating this, but one thing, we have more pollution. That's dead sure, that's what the world is going to. More anger, and it's your responsibility to control this. And more dissatisfaction, that's your responsibility to control. And still, in this country, we have hunger deaths. 150 kilometers from Bombay, this is about a year and a half, 2 years back. 15 children died of malnutrition. Not that we don't have food, there's some problem somewhere. Whom to blame? I don't know whether it's the government to blame or the local politics. It's a mix of everything. Is this the right direction? Maybe. Maybe we have no choice. We already caught the tiger by the tail. We have to continue with that. But how do we make a course correction? And what should science and technology do? So can we make a different choice? Yes, we can. And what is the direction we should take this choice? What is the foundation of this direction? This is a key question you can ask and seek answers. Direction to anything to me is sustainability. And when you talk of sustainability, you have physical sustainability and you have mental sustainability. Both of them are essential when you progress in life. And can we be sustainable is a question that you can ask. Only if we can sustain both physical and mental will we be able to sustain the society, sustain your own life, sustain everything that you want to sustain. And science and technology, according to me, should address this key thing. And that should be the vision for India's future. Now let's explain in briefly. How much time do I have, Sri Valsamur? So we started a little late, so 10 minutes. I should be finished in 10 minutes. So this is the first thing that we should realize, that science without philosophy and philosophy without science are both meaningless. Who made this statement? Swami Vivekananda. This is a statement that has been lost because a lot of other statements of Swami Vivekananda has gained aim. And Swami Vivekananda made some very interesting statements which will not catch your eye simply because your eye is not trained to catch it. One important statement he made, the essence of education is nothing but the power to concentrate. Understand? A very simple statement. It will not catch your attention. You will wonder what is this, because it's a waste. You will believe it's a waste. So what philosophy? The philosophy is sustainability. Okay, this simple philosophy should drive our science and technology. Now, why physical sustainability? Simply because limit to usage of materials, limit to the rate of usage of materials, limit to the trash the world can handle. This has become a huge problem. You go to many of the Indian towns and villages, you have trash thrown around everywhere. You consider it as a big polluting act. You go to the Western societies, extremely clean. You go to Japan, extremely clean. But it is not that they don't generate waste. What do they do with the waste is the question you need to ask. They collect it neatly and dump it into the Atlantic or the Pacific. And now this waste had started disintegrating. It's creating serious environmental problems. Uninhabited islands have become polluted there. Birds are dying left, right, center. It has been reported, but nobody is doing anything about it simply because nothing can be done about it. This has been dumped into 10, 15, 20,000 deep ocean water. What can be done? Nothing can be done. So this is one lesson you can learn in life. If nothing can be done, what you do is shut up. Keep quiet. Even that is a mistake, but that's the best thing you can do. So it is a thing that this world cannot handle the trash that we are generating. It's a fact. And this is something we should realize. Out of sight, out of mind, no problems is not the answer. Sustainability and eco-friendly are the key to living. Now, eco-friendly and biodegradable should not be confused. Something that is eco-friendly need not be biodegradable. For example, a cup and a saucer or glass is not a biodegradable product, but it is not a poison. You throw it anywhere, it doesn't create a poison. But there could be something that's eco-friendly or so-called biodegradable product which you throw it away can create poison. So you should not confuse these two things.